Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel where we talk about personal growth, self-care, and overall well-being. Today, we're going to discuss a very important topic that affects many people: childhood trauma. Childhood trauma can have a lasting impact on mental health, relationships, and overall quality of life. In this video, we're going to talk about some signs of childhood trauma and how to overcome it as an adult. Firstly, let's discuss the signs of childhood trauma. Childhood trauma can take many forms: physical, sexual, emotional abuse, neglect, and abandonment. Here are some signs that someone may have experienced childhood trauma. Difficulty regulating emotions. Trauma can cause intense and unpredictable emotions, such as anger, fear, and sadness. Adults who experienced childhood trauma may struggle to regulate their emotions and may experience mood swings. Low self-esteem. Childhood trauma can impact self-worth and self-esteem. Adults who experienced childhood trauma may struggle with feelings of worthlessness, shame, and guilt. Relationship difficulties. Childhood trauma can negatively impact relationships with others. Adults who experienced childhood trauma may struggle to trust others, form healthy attachments, and may have difficulty maintaining healthy relationships. Substance abuse. Childhood trauma can increase the risk of substance abuse and addiction. Adults who experienced childhood trauma may turn to drugs and alcohol to cope with their emotions and memories. Here are some additional signs and symptoms of childhood trauma. Avoidance behaviors. Children who have experienced trauma may try to avoid situations or people that remind them of the traumatic event. As adults, they may still have a tendency to avoid things that trigger memories of the trauma, even if those triggers are not immediately apparent. Hyperarousal. Children who have experienced trauma may be constantly on high alert, ready to react to potential threats. As adults, they may experience a constant state of hypervigilance or feel easily startled or anxious. Nightmares and flashbacks. Children who have experienced trauma may have recurring nightmares or flashbacks about the traumatic event. As adults, they may continue to have nightmares or intrusive memories of the event. Self-destructive behaviors. Children who have experienced trauma may engage in self-destructive behaviors, such as substance abuse or self-harm, as a way of coping with their emotions. As adults, they may continue to engage in these behaviors or develop new ones as a way of coping with the ongoing effects of the trauma. Physical symptoms. Childhood trauma can also have physical symptoms, such as headaches, stomachaches, or chronic pain. These physical symptoms may persist into adulthood even if the person is no longer in danger. Difficulty with intimacy. Childhood trauma can make it difficult for individuals to form healthy relationships or engage in intimate behavior. They may have trouble trusting others or be fearful of vulnerability. Secondly, let's talk about how to overcome childhood trauma as an adult. Overcoming childhood trauma is a process and it takes time and effort. Here are some tips for overcoming childhood trauma. Seek professional help. Trauma can be difficult to overcome on your own. Seeking help from a therapist or counselor can provide a safe and supportive environment to process and heal from childhood trauma. Practice self-care. Self-care is essential for healing from childhood trauma. Self-care can include things like exercise, healthy eating, getting enough sleep, and engaging in activities that bring you joy. Connect with others. Connecting with others who understand and have similar experiences can be helpful in healing from childhood trauma. Support groups and online communities can provide a sense of belonging and validation. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation and deep breathing, can help regulate emotions and reduce stress. Mindfulness can also help with acceptance and self-compassion. Here are some other additional tips for overcoming childhood trauma as an adult. Cultivate a support system. One of the most important aspects of healing from childhood trauma is having a support system. This can include friends, family members, a therapist, a support group, or an online community. It's important to have people in your life who you feel safe talking to and who can provide emotional support when you need it. Practice self-compassion. Childhood trauma can leave individuals with feelings of shame, guilt, and self-blame. Practicing self-compassion involves being kind to yourself and recognizing that you are not to blame for what happened to you. It involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. Learn to regulate your emotions. childhood trauma can leave individuals with intense and overwhelming emotions that can be difficult to manage. Learning to regulate your emotions involves developing coping mechanisms that allow you to manage stress and strong emotions. This can include things like deep breathing, mindfulness meditation, or physical exercise. Identify and challenge negative beliefs. Childhood trauma can leave individuals with negative beliefs about themselves or the world around them. Identifying and challenging these negative beliefs can be an important part of healing. It involves recognizing when these beliefs arise and then challenging them with evidence or a more balanced perspective. Seek professional help. Working with a therapist or counselor can be an important part of healing from childhood trauma. Therapists can provide a safe and supportive environment for processing and healing from trauma. They can also provide guidance and support in developing coping mechanisms and identifying negative beliefs. Practice self-care. Engaging in self-care activities can help to reduce stress and promote well-being. This can include things like getting enough sleep, eating a healthy diet, engaging in physical activity, spending time in nature, or engaging in hobbies or creative activities. Lastly, let's discuss the importance of seeking help. Childhood trauma can have a profound impact on mental health and overall well-being. It's important to recognize the signs of childhood trauma and seek help if needed. There is no shame in seeking help, and it's important to remember that healing is possible. With the right support and resources, adults who experience childhood trauma can lead fulfilling and happy lives. In conclusion, overcoming childhood trauma requires self-awareness, self-care, and support from others. Recognizing the signs of childhood trauma is the first step towards healing. Remember to seek professional help, practice self-care, connect with others, and practice mindfulness. With these tips, you can create a healthier and more positive life for yourself. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos on personal growth and well-being.